Car Expert reviews Need for Speed cover cars tier list. That's right, everybody. Welcome back. Today we shall be listing the Need for Speed cars. Cover cars, as in, when you buy that game, in the cover, in the first page, front page, what is that car? So let's start. First up, Need for Speed Heat. Joe's Polestar 1. You know what? This car, almost there, man. Good car, it's a good car, as in like you're forced to use this car right off the bat. So when you start a game, the yellow color, oh, we're there. But then again, the character that drives the car, he just fades away into oblivion and he never shows his face again. So, but even if you crank everything up, like if you upgrade ultimate nitros, ultimate parts and everything, then this car is almost there. It looks excellent, beautiful. Initially I thought this was a Aston Martin. This was an Aston Martin. Next, Need for Speed Rivals, the Koenigsegg Agera, right? The Koenigsegg. Okay, Koenigsegg Agera R. Now, like I'm confused because every different game has a different driving mechanics, different types of power. So let's base them based on real life, okay? Let's rank them based on real life. So Koenigsegg easily is the best car. Even in the game though, I'm not being unfair. Even in the game, Need for Speed Rivals, the Agera R is the fastest, it's the best. So it stays there. Next up, do I have to say anything? Need for Speed Most Wanted, the BMW M3 GTR with the E46. E46 and GTR is not exactly the same thing. GTR is just a Gran Turismo version. So it's like race specific. So yeah, this car, since its inception, since its introduction in Need for Speed 2005, it has continued its reign till this day, as recent as Need for Speed Unbound. So it's a legendary car, legendary. Even in real life though, legendary car. Moving on, Need for Speed Skyline R34, Need for Speed Payback. This is, in that game itself, this is almost there. Why? Because even Payback had 3 different modes, right? One for purely racing, second was for off-roading, and third you can trick it to drifting also. So yeah. Oh wait, drag, drift, off-road, race. So this car you can crank it up and down, so it has lots of customization things. So yeah, Need for Speed Nissan Skyline R34 in Need for Speed Payback is almost there. Like it's almost there. Even in real life, R34 is quite rare. It was never released in America, so it's there. Moving on, Porsche 911 Carrera S. Carrera S is a decent car. It's not a bad car by any means, but it's a decent car. Like all these cars, you're forced to drive. By the way, you are forced to drive these cars in all these games. So yeah, the developers, they did think, and also lots of sponsorships. Money, baby. So yeah, Porsche 911 Carrera S, it's a decent car, neither very good, neither very bad. It was okay. I love this game. Came out in 2012, so obviously they took the 2011 model, and the 11 model had a spoiler that comes out. Since the Bugatti Veyron in 2005, like most of modern cars have that automatic rising spoiler at the back. Wings, you can say. Nissan GTR from Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. This is, I remember Shift 1, Need for Speed Shift 1 versus Need for Speed Shift 2. Shift 2 is supposed to be more simulation, but when you play the game, Shift 1 is way more, you can say, realistic. Like you have to hit the brakes way far back, and all that turning and driving and all that tire screech and all that. Need for Speed Shift did it better in my opinion. So it's a decent car. It's not bad at all. Shift 2 Unleashed. Next up, Nissan GTR R35. Look at this. Where is this? Skyline GTR. Of course, the GTR is the refreshed model of the Skyline. They dropped the name Skyline and just put it GTR to continue the legacy because it became R35. Skyline R34 GTR and Nissan GTR R35. So that's it. Now for Need for Speed Pro Street, the R35, I remember. Okay, first of all, a lot of people might argue, and they do think that Pro Street was the best Need for Speed. I mean, because it's supposed to be legal, okay? When you put in the element of legal racing, daytime races of Need for Speed Heat did legal racing, and what is this? A Payback also had legal racing during the daytime. That was all daytime only. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting so many times. And also, where was it? Where was this? Pro Street was completely legal, and the Shift duology. So this particular one, Nissan R35, I mean, it's not a very good car by any means. Neither is a very bad. It's a very well balanced car. So for a simulator Need for Speed, Nissan GT-R R35 goes into the decent category. Moving on, let's go. Ford Mustang GT. I'm gonna put it in bad because wait, this is Need for Speed. Which one? Is it Need for Speed No Limits? This car was in No Limits. Yeah, this is No Limits. So yeah, No Limits. Yeah, Need for Speed No Limits. It's a bad. I'm gonna put it in bad because I mean there's nothing much to extract. You know, there's nothing much to extract from it. Now look at these. The Koenigsegg, super fast. BMW, it's super heavy. It was a heavy car. And Polestar one looks good. Skyline, because well, it's all-rounder. It's an all-rounder. Now decent. I mean, in a decent category. These are well balanced. Like even in the game, they're well balanced. We did okay. Speed, with speed and handling and all that weight and stuff. And so in Need for Speed No Limits, mobile handheld game, I mean, there was nothing memorable for the Mustang. Okay, I mean that's that. I mean it's a bad. I'm gonna put it in bad. Moving on, we have Lamborghini Reventon or remastered. See, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remastered. Now remastered and the original Hot Pursuit, there was not much of a difference anyways. Just that tiny tweaks in the graphics, and this goes straight to the best cars. Because the Reventon in itself, in real life, also I'm basing it off of real life, so yeah. American muscle, Ford Mustang GT, American muscle car. It's great for American roads mostly. Of course, you can drive it in Europe and something else. But if you take these cars in India, whew, not gonna happen. Okay. As I was saying, the Reventon, it was already a very rare car, limited production. And even in the game, it was just so well balanced. And by the way, Reventon was directly, modeled after the jet fighters, F-35, F-22 or F-35, whichever one. There are lots of flaps, the side flaps. Murcielago had it, but Reventon did it better. So it's an easily S tier, the best cars. Alright, moving on, Most Wanted. Okay, Most Wanted is a mobile version. Crosses Corvette. Now Corvette, I'm gonna put it in bad category because, okay, Corvette, again, American muscle. See, I don't have a bias. You might think, ooh, American muscle, you're so biased towards American muscle. No. Play the game. Remember the Most Wanted. This is for Need for Speed Most Wanted. Play the game again, replay the game again. How well does the Corvette balance? Now, I've seen races of Corvette. Super powerful, yeah. Watch Donald Media's videos, they go really deep in those. And this is the Corvette C6, not Z06. This is not Corvette Z06. It's Corvette C6. And C6, yes, it was a race version, and there was nothing special about it. I remember Corvette ZR1, Corvette C6, C6R, ZR1 or whatever. 06 or something. I forgot the names. So many nomenclatures. But this particular one is a C6, Corvette C6, and this was nothing special. I mean, it had nothing else. And also, this is a track focused car. So in real life, I mean, yeah, it's not gonna do you much favors, is it? Moving on, 350Z Need for Speed Underground. It's I want to put it in S tier, but see, 350. Okay, let's break it down. Let's break it down. How many movies have you seen that use 350Z? I mean, apart from the low budget, crappy movies. No, I'm not talking about that. But Tokyo Drift had Takeshi, the villain. He used 350 or 370Z. similar cars. Okay, so that's one. That's the only most memorable 350 in TV, in movies that I remember of. In my recent memory, I have to rewatch a lot of movies, or I just had to browse through a lot of movies to say, oh, this car had this car had this. So yeah, I mean, since it's its power, its soft power, the Nissan 350Z's soft power was so prevalent through movies. I'm gonna put it in S tier. And also in India, this you would have been able to buy the 350Z in India if you had the money back then. So I mean, I remember because 2009, 11, 12, around between these two, I used to buy those Bike India magazines, and yeah, 350Z. Oh, sorry, Bike India magazine and Overdrive. Overdrive was for both cars and bikes. So 350Z was there. It cost about crores back then. So yeah, it's S tier. Next up we have, what is this? Ferrari F12. Oh, Ferrari F12 is almost there. I remember this. Okay, this Need for Speed. Okay, the Koenigsegg was chasing it. This is the front. Okay, Ferrari made a comeback in Need for Speed games, in Need for Speed Rivals, and yeah, Ferrari, man. Ferrari in the games, it was quite heavy, and also it was okay. It was all-rounder. I mean, you can do quite a lot with it. It's not going the S tier. And also, if you're not familiar with car culture, the makers of Ferrari and Ferrari, the company in general, are not very friendly towards their own customers. So, if you know, you know. Next up, Aston Martin V12 Vantage. This car was used in Casino Royale. It's a decent car, not very bad, not too good. It's a decent car in the game, and also in real life. Of course, James Bond is known for BMW and Aston Martin, mostly Aston Martin. And if you want to see which particular movie used this particular car, go to Casino Royale. In that flip scene, ding, 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 ding. Wait, was it a DB9? Now I'm confused. I'm confused, but it was definitely an Aston Martin V12. It was an Aston Martin V12. At least I got that right. So, or maybe I got that wrong also. Who's gonna cross check? Am I right? Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. Next up, Need for Speed The Run. Ford Shelby GT500 Super Snake. Wait a minute, this was The Run. I thought The Run had something else. Huh? My memory is hazy. I mean, again, unfortunately, it still stays here bad. Okay, now at this point in time, it is starting to look like I'm being biased towards American muscle, because even in Need for Speed the Run, this Mustang was not really useful, because in any case you had to switch cars. So even in real life, I have seen Mustangs in my own city, in the city life, and it's big cars, like a big car. When you see these cars as compared to Lamborghinis, like quite wide body, okay, compared to them, Mustangs are slightly narrower. At the same time, for Indian cars or regular normal family cars, it's still quite big and huge, like and long also. So yeah, not practical for Indian roads. So Shelby GT500, but to Mr. Carroll Shelby, it's easily S tier. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service towards the automotive industry. Thank you, sir. Next up, Nissan Skyline R34. This car in the game was the best car, and even in real life, this is really good. So it stays almost there. It's like almost there, you know. You know what? It's going to S tier. Why? Simply because the Skyline. Who made the Skyline famous? Paul Walker. I was gonna say Brian O'Connor. Paul Walker, rest in peace his soul. Paul Walker was a huge fan of the Skyline, so he drove a Skyline in Too Fast to Furious. Wait, Paul Walker drove only Japanese tuners, right? In the first part, what did he drive? Eclipse, and then he switched to the Toyota Supra. In part 2, he came back with the Nissan Skyline, and then he went to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, and then drove the Skyline again in Fast and Furious Part 4. Yeah, mostly Nissan and Paul Walker, he he did his best to promote these cars, and yeah, this car is good. Even this one, Initial D, this car was a antagonist, so it was fun to see. Next up is Shift. Which car is a BMW? What? I can't even see. It's like so small. I can't. M3 GT2. M3 GT2. Okay. M3 GT2. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, BMW M3 GT2. I don't exactly remember how good or how bad this was, so I'm gonna see. As far as Need for Speed Shift and the Shift 2 is concerned, these cars are track cars, proper track. And I remember that the best handling cars are not exactly the poster cars, so I'm gonna put it in the bad category. I remember using this car, like it was man, nothing special. Again, I'm saying, which cars are special? Reventon is special. This is special. This one is fastest. This is the fastest. Shift DZ, that is the this is the most well balanced. You can challenge everyone. So there is something, they're putting us something special. This one, I mean, there's nothing memorable. Like Cross's Corvette GTR. Of course, everybody remembers Cross's GTR, but nobody remembers the actual car. And this tier list, I'm basing it off of everything else. Means both the in-game portrayal and the real-life execution. Okay, the real life, because these cars are based on real life, right? Right? Yeah. It's not like the real cars are made off of the game. So that's how it is. Next up is Need for Speed Nitro. Lamborghini Aventador. Nitro, I haven't even played Nitro, so I don't know. It's no effort, awful. Because I haven't. Okay, I did play Nitro to make the. I played every game in the series. I think I did that. But Nitro, I mean, yeah, there was nothing else. As for the real, okay, wait. I'm basing it off of both. Yeah, video game soft power is there at the same time in real life. So Aventador in real life, actually it's almost there. Like, see, the S tier cars are not just because of this prowess in performance. Okay, it's about its legacy. The legacy. Okay, the legacy. So yeah, Aventador is a perfect, almost perfect car. I'm gonna put it in almost there. And yeah, I didn't want to put it in no effort because I have seen it, so how can they put no effort? So yeah, unless they use the word, not Fiat Punto, something else, like a really, really crappy car, I forgot. Those, when the car shops unlock in Need for Speed games, and those first few cars that are there, like why? Those are no effort. Okay, there's not no effort there. It's almost there. I had to be, in the middle, not towards the left, nor towards the right. Not towards up or down. See, I just did a political joke. How about that? Just as BMW M5 Need for Speed Payback. This was okay. It's like not a good, not a bad, but this is okay car. Like okay, European, because we had to go head to head with the police cars also, and they drove Chargers. I think, yeah, they drove Dodge Chargers. So BMW M5 could take them on, and also. Wasn't BMW M5 one of the most aerodynamic cars? Aerodynamic, yeah. The coefficient of friction in the M5 was, I think, lower than the old Lamborghini Countach or something. Like, it's quite smooth. It's a very smooth car. So yeah, it's a decent car. Next, Need for Speed Carbon Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. This goes to decent car. Again, Paul Walker drove this car. Paul Walker drove this heavily in the Too Fast Too Furious, and he promoted also. See, every time international superstar drives any car and he does stunts with it, people are going to remember that, right? Just like Vin Diesel is associated with Dodge, American muscle, because he himself is a big guy, right? That's how it is. Next up, Subaru BRZ Need for Speed. Oh, this is the one. This car, it's gonna be bad because, okay, to be very honest, I remember the Subaru BRZ in both No Limits and in Need for Speed, and of course we had to start off with BRZ because BRZ is the best starter car you can you can grind, but also it takes so much of grinding to get the parts and then to upgrade and then to customize and all that. Even after that, when you reach the higher levels, you cannot use the BRC to defeat these Aventadors and other Koenigseggs. It's just not possible. It's too difficult. It's possible, but it's like it's gonna take a lot of practice, and you have to completely perfect. I'm talking Takumi Fujiwara level of driving prowess to defeat these heavy-duty cars. So yeah, Super BRC, good starter car, but all in all, I mean, it's in a bad. I mean, nothing memorable, nothing too memorable. The only thing memorable is that we have to use this car, from the start, because the moment we could afford a different car, we switch. So that's what it is. Next up, Nissan 370Z Need for Speed World. This car, I would say bad because okay, first of all, Need for Speed World itself shut down, and 370Z was not as popular as the 350 because come on, 350 is the original, and 370Z I think Tokyo Drift. I think Tokyo Drift was used 370Z, but then again, out of all these cars, surprisingly enough, Japanese tuners, when it comes down to Japanese tuners, 370Z is used quite a lot. So based off of real life points, I'm gonna put it almost there. It's very popular. This is like a very popular. Next up, Chevrolet. This one Need for Speed Payback. I'm gonna put it in F. Awful. Sure, you can bump it up, but it's like its height was too much. It had lots of power, so it couldn't. It couldn't quick shift like. It's like that. So like awful car, like an awful car. Next up, Maserati Gran Turismo Need for Speed Shift 2. The right one. Okay, Maserati cars, they are luxury cars. First of all, you have to remember, Mercedes-Benz SLS AMGs, they are luxury. Bentley, they are luxury. This Maserati, and even if they put the Rolls-Royce, they beef up the Rolls-Royce and they put it to a race or something, it would still be another luxury car, like luxury supercars, So yeah, like Maserati is a luxury supercar, and there's nothing much to be said about it. I think Jason Statham drove the Maserati in Furious 7. Yeah, when that collision. So that car was a Maserati, if I'm not mistaken, and if I remember wrong. Please do check it out, rewatch that movie, and do let me know. But I think that was a Maserati. Alright, that Maserati was a luxury sports car. Moving on to the Pagani Zonda Cinque. Need for Speed Cinque, how do you pronounce it? I just say Cinque. So Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. This car will go where? Almost there. It's not as good as the Aventador. It's just so well balanced because okay, Pagani Zonda was a rear wheel drive. Aventador is 4-wheel, so that's that. That's that. Undercover 911 GT2. This is, bad. There was nothing special about it. And by the way, this GT2 was driven by the female antagonist, the villain, and it was not even Maggie Q. It was something. What was her name? Rose. So, yeah, that's it. Like a bad. Nothing special. Like a small car. It's a small. The design is really good. The design, the classic 911 design. I love that design. There was nothing special about it. Even in real life, Porsche. Oh yeah, based off of real life, the Porsches are actually more common. I've seen one Porsche in Malaysia. When I went to Malaysia, I've seen one Paji, Sardar, Paji, and he just walked out of a Porsche. And yeah, I don't know which exact model it was. Must have been a Carrera, must have been something, but it was certainly 911 model. Okay, I know the shape, right? The shape of the car. It was either a Carrera, either a GT2 or not GT3. But yeah, I remember that. Next up, 911 Carrera again, the Carrera R. But this Carrera RS was Magnus Walker's, I think. Yeah, I think it was Magnus Walker's Carrera RS. Again, there was nothing special about this car, And this is an old car, like 1971. Magnus Walker. Yeah. I think 1971 or 1980s. I forgot something. It was an old school Carrera RS. So I mean, there was nothing special about it. I remember playing the game, and there was nothing special about it. Moving on, Lamborghini Gallardo. Gallardo easily S tier because you see, I don't even have to know about the game. Gallardo, since Hot Pursuit 1, Hot Pursuit 2, in every game that Gallardo was there, it did handle excellent. And also, Lamborghini Gallardo sold more units than all the other models of Lamborghini combined. I'm talking Countach, Miura, Murcielago, Aventador, Urus, Huracan, Reventon, and more. Lamborghini Gallardo, all of them combined. Lamborghini Gallardo itself, the Gallardo series, Gallardo Superleggera, Gallardo this, Gallardo that. So Gallardo was more than all the other models combined. Wow, so it's an easily S tier. S tier. Final car, Dodge Challenger, Need for Speed Carbon. Dodge Challenger, you know where this is going bad. I promise you, I'm not biased towards American Muscle. It's just that there's no real world application. You know what? Wait. This is a Dodge Challenger, right? Finally, Dodge Challenger. Okay, Dominic Toretto promoted it a lot. So I'm gonna put it in decent. It's not very good though. Gas guzzling machines. That's like American Muscle, cheap gas prices, and so you can rip the roads. And when the price increases, that's what you get. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. That was the tier list of Need for Speed cover cars. How did you like it? Did you like it? I made a lot of fan art. Check them out. Subscribe to my channel. I love you. Bye bye.